Hello, I'm Dr. Gamer, and I'm going to use my extensive background in video games to explain real-world science and theories with video game examples, or something like that. Recently, Overwatch had a free weekend on the Xbox, and because my wife and I have absolutely no disposable income due to my lack of work and us trying to afford a house, I didn't get it. Even still. Yes, I'm a gamer, just really cheap. Nothing in my wallet. So, while I was playing, I realized there was a hidden area that torture was a regular occurrence, and that our heroes make waterboarding look like child's play. But how does this tie into science? Well, we're just going to simply use a scientific approach to come to a reasonable conclusion. In the Overwatch universe, there was a war between Omnic forces and the humans. This war raged on, killing many, and occurred when the Omnics developed sentient thought and rebelled against the humans they were supposed to serve. Why is this important? It helps us establish levels of consciousness. For this, we're going to use three different characters from Overwatch: Genji, Zenyatta, and Bastion. We'll then place them on a scale of how sentient they are, where the left is like a modern computer and can only perform what is actually programmed into it, and the right is a lot more like the synths from Fallout, where it's pretty much impossible to tell them apart from a real human. First off, we'll look at Genji. And while this scale is meant for our robotic friends, Genji isn't exactly human at this point. Genji was once part of the Shamanic ninja clan. He was very much a playboy character until his father, the leader of the Shamanic clan, died and his brother Hanzo took over. Hanzo wanted Genji to take a stronger role in the clan, but Genji refused until these brothers fought physically, and Hanzo believed he killed his brother. This didn't turn out to be true. In fact, Genji was found by Overwatch and was restored to health by giving him a cyborg enhancement. This is what makes Genji on this list. He is the brain of a human, but the body of a cyborg. Now, as you can imagine, Genji didn't handle this very well. He was now more robot than human, and he had a lot of very tough feelings at this point in his life as to whether he was human or if he was now a robotic being like all the Omnics from the Omni Crisis. This robotic body means he can't heal naturally and must be repaired like a robot. For this, we place Genji just below the maximum of the list. He still has, human thought, human emotion. It's just that his body itself requires assistance from mechanical parts. Next, we can take a look at Genji's mentor, Zenyatta. Zenyatta was originally part of the Shambali, a group of Omnics that experienced a spiritual awakening that gave them sentience. After this, they tried to heal the wounds from the Omni Crisis in order to bring humans and Omnics together. Zenyatta disagreed with their approach. He felt that rather than having humans come to the monastery and teaching them, it would be better to go out into the world and engage humans on a personal level. Now this is when he came across our friend Genji, who had at this point left Overwatch to find himself. Genji eventually became Zenyatta's pupil and was able to find inner peace with his new body, and to realize that it wasn't his body that decided whether he was human or not, but his mind. So this gives us a scope to grade Zenyatta. Zenyatta was built as an Omnic with programming, but was able to learn and enlighten himself. He has reached a level where he has a thought process that is as human as Genji or any of our other heroes. He's able to implement free will and thought to live a life just like a normal human would. However, Zenyatta is in the same predicament as Genji. His body is robotic and cannot heal naturally. This would put him even with Genji on our scale, but in this case, I'm going to put Zenyatta just below Genji due to the fact that Genji is using a organic brain, while Zenyatta has a synthetic one. So, these two are almost the very top of our scale. So the question is, where are we going to put our favorite play of the game maker, Bastion? This is a question where timing matters. When we look at Bastion in the Omnic Crisis, they are much closer to a programmed robot without thought. But as we see in the short about our lovable little sentry gun, we see that he has slowly been able to learn to ignore his programming and choose not to attack. We can all agree that Bastion is programmed due to the fact that after years of hibernation, when Bastion comes out of it and begins moving in the woods, he follows the path that is laid out for him without question. If he had been sentient and was able to think for himself, while the path may have prevented itself saying he should go this way, he would probably disregard this because of the simple fact that he knows where that path is leading, but there's no longer troops with him. So in this short, we see that Bastion grows and discovers the ability to think for himself. He overreacts when he hears a woodpecker and goes into sentry gun mode, mowing down a part of the woods. But then whenever he's halfway through a field in combat mode, the bird comes back and he's able to grow to the point that he can choose if he wants to fight or not. Spoiler alert, he goes his own way. This gives the ability to place Bastion on our scale. He is able to decide for himself, but just barely. He's not fully aware of impacts and how things work, but he is able to choose to ignore his programming. This puts him closer to the bottom of the scale. So, at this point we have 3 heroes with different levels of humanity. 2 towards the top, able to fully analyze and be aware of how things will interact with them, and 1 towards the bottom, where he can make decisions at the moment, but may not necessarily have the most foresight. But Dr. Gamer, you were talking about torture. You're right, I'm talking about our torture room, known as the training center. You see, this area is full of Omnics that are being tortured every single day. Listen closely, and you can hear their screams of pain as you practice your skills on their metallic bodies. So, with this, you can say that they are screaming, but can ask if they are really being tortured. I'd like to present my thought process on this. Each of our heroes is clearly shown as intelligent and able to understand life's feelings. Zenyatta and Genji clearly show signs of pain in their whimpers when they are hurt. Bastion doesn't show much emotion when being hurt though. Just Wally-esque squeals that we can guess mean ouch. As previously explained though, we can clearly see that Bastion is self-aware and isn't just a robot. So, we can assume that any Omnic higher on our scale than Bastion is able to experience pain and suffering. So, why would someone be programming the robots to show signs of pain when being shot? Is it to make our heroes more willing to kill someone who is reacting in pain? No. In a study of murders, 80% of murderers knew their victims. Now, our heroes are not murderers, but we can compare their statistics based on the fact that these heroes, they're taking action based on belief that they are going to protect those who cannot protect themselves by doing the dirty things that they have to do, much like our soldiers today. So, these people are going into this knowing that they will have to hurt people to protect innocence. I don't think the sound of someone in pain will stop them. It would have been more effective for the psychological aspect if they had been given human faces instead of the ability to scream in pain. But they didn't do that because they didn't code this feature of pain into these Omnics. These Omnics developed the ability to feel and became sentient, but are still stuck in their current location. They cannot leave. As for why, I can't say 100%. Maybe they developed the ability to feel but couldn't take control of their bodies, much like when people have issues on the operating table, where they can feel everything, but the anesthesia prevents their body from receiving signals from their brain. This would mean that these practice range targets that are destroyed and rebuilt over and over again are feeling every bullet, shuriken, and blade that gets put into them. An eternity of being shot, stabbed, and bludgeoned, and they can't do anything but scream in pain. The worst part? These heroes don't have any idea what's happening. They just believe that they are practicing to sharpen their skills. Or do they? Well guys, that was the first episode. I wanted to say thank you for coming out and, well, giving it a listen. Now, this is something that's going to be getting better. I'll find better sources or better topics. I'll get better at video editing. All these things. So, leave suggestions in the comments. Please hit subscribe so that you can catch the future installments of Dr. Gamer. And, well, I really hope that you guys will have enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed thinking about it. If you'd like, please click on either of the links in this area so that you can either view another video or subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you guys next time.